This is the IQON ACT10. IQON's everything skate. You should be able to put every single frame in existence onto this boot, mounting in a solid way, which is quite a big ask. Usually a skate that wants to do that sucks at everything, but this is set out to achieve it in a way where it's actually good for everything. And I think they might have actually achieved it. The name ACT actually reflects how it can take every kind of skate mount. The A stands for Aggressive, Sole Plate UFS, also Direct UFS. The C stands for CL165, and also T for Trinity, which is this version here. This is the unreleased Trinity version of the skate that I have rolled around in and really liked. It's quite a supportive, nice skate, but the reason we're here today, we're going to tear the skate down because I think it has a whole lot of hidden features that you won't know unless you take the skate apart. So let's do that today. So with the overall look of the skate, I think that he did a great job. I think this is a very nice looking skate, although every skate does look nice and black. But this line work is clean and simple. I like it with the subtle icon. I really like the subtle branding with the ACT10 here. I also love the shiny with the matte plastic. Not enough skates do that. This is why I like the M12 so much, and this is a unique way to do it that I really, really like. And overall, it's a great shape and profile for a brand new mold. So we're gonna go from the top down, but we're gonna come back to the liner for reasons you'll see first. First off with the buckle. The buckle is attached with Phillips screws, which is normal, as you can see. As the new Kaiser buckle, which is very lightweight and strong. It has reinforcements here, so if you hit it, you're taking up all this plastic if you're smashing onto it. It also is very good buckle protection, so if you ever miss, you're not gonna hook on the buckle. It's like pretty much impossible. The side that it clicks into is very nice too, this side. Directly into the cuff, so you'll never have a fin sticking out that you can eventually snap off. Done that way too many times. Very well executed. It's got the pull to release. It also features this nice carry strap here, which I've tucked in, my bad. So normally most skates have the liner one, which you can use to carry your skates. The problem with that though is sometimes the weight of the skate can pull the liner out and your skates fall out, you know? And also if you ever try to use this to put the skate on, you'll know that you can't use full force. You definitely would have snapped these off if you ever tried this before. They're not designed for that, it's just for carrying. Well, they fixed that problem with the skate by putting it on the cuff here, and this solves both those issues. If you hang your skates from this buckle or this latch here, your skates are never gonna fall out. They're on there for life. It's never gonna pull anything out. And if you do use this to put your heel in, it is so much stronger that I think you can actually do that now. Like I'm gonna pull it with all my force here. I've done this before, we had a previous take. If I pull it with as hard as I can, it's not gonna break. It's super solid. If I do that with this one, it's gonna break off. So I'm not even gonna test it, okay? But this is a really nice addition that I think is really a really cool, unique feature of the skate. And I don't know how no one's done it before. I think it really does add a lot. It does feature a like slight tapering in the back here. I almost was gonna say it's V-cut, but it's not V-cut at all. As you can see, it's only a slight dip, but that gives you a little more flex. Overall, I do definitely think this is a stiff skate though. I've only skated it as a Trinity skate, and that has been really nice. You want a stiff skate, but when you're doing that, you know, I haven't had the chance to try it aggressive yet. That's where you want the more flex. But there are ways to make it more flexy that we'll get to as we tear this down. Let's talk about this cuff bolt now. This cuff bolt features what IQON is calling the Revolver mount. It can be rotated in 6 different positions with just an Allen key, but you need the liner to hold it in. So let me take it off and show you. Interestingly, I have already filmed this video and the whole footage got corrupt because my battery died midway through and it didn't tell me. So I learned doing that this has these plastic bits underneath. This is a sample version of the Trinity version of the skate. This came directly from the factory. It's not one that we sold. So this, I assume this is just kind of some jank of being a sample version of the skate. But I did notice that the Revolver system didn't really work without it because there's one underneath here, and I think this one is crucial to helping this work. But anyway, we can show you how it works anyway. If I take that off, as you can see, there's a 6-way mounting point here, and you can turn it to any of these positions with just the Allen key as long as the line is in. It's a very simple piece of tech here. It's just a piece of metal resting against the liner. It is obviously a bit clunky though. As you can see, that's not quite in properly now, and it can be quite hard to put on. And I did try to put it in without that bit of plastic underneath, and it did not stay in. So I think that this piece is probably crucial to helping it stay together now, which does make it a little more jank than I was originally anticipating. But this could be the sample version. I don't know, there's could be some jank happening there. Here's another look at the Revolver bit. It's this simple, this is all it is. The liner holds this on, and it fits an Allen key in the middle so you can turn it. And I mean, there's so many options here, so that's super good. Although I don't know how well it actually works. If you need that plastic bit, I don't know if I'm actually sold on this. It makes it a little bit too complicated. It's simple yet complicated, but you know, we'll see. Let me know what you think. Quick update. Powerside has told me that these 2 spaces are optional, but they're there to give you more options if you want to have a bit more support. So they change the flex and fit a little bit even more. It's another 2 pieces. So yeah, there's that. So the liner you've definitely seen before. Well, you should have. You might not have. I don't know what I'm saying. This is a MyFit Prime liner. I don't think they've had any big changes to it. I think it is just a MyFit Prime liner, which is a great liner. It's supposed to be MyFit's or Power Slide's attempt at an Intuition, which is obviously one of the most popular liners on the market. It's very lightweight and thin around the foot, but then has a good plush bit around the ankle, which is exactly what you want. This is like a nice, soft, squishy, like plush feeling suede. It's super comfy, really well done. It has this bit here, Velcro bit, you can take off and completely remove some of the ankle support if you want to do that. It also has the lacing, which I hate secondary lacing on liners. I don't want to have to tie my skates twice. And this locks you in too good, you know, I don't like it, but I have still left it on, it's worked well. It's got this nice bit here to help protect the liner from the cuff bolts. It features a nice neoprene toe too, which means you can get a bit more out of the sizing, you know, that was just stretched to your toes. It even extends to underneath the skate too, so you can really expand the toe part. The whole bottom is a nice hard plastic to protect the liner again from those bolts. And this whole thing is heat moldable if you want to do it too, although I hate heat molding and I swear to God it doesn't work, so I haven't done it. That being said though, this is an extremely comfy skate, and also it's really forgiving with sizing. This is the only size US 10 I've ever fit in my life. I'm usually a US 10.5, and this is a good fit for me. It's right on, exactly what I need. Not too tight, not too loose. Very, very good fit. It's got a nice roomy toe box, I'd say. Nice and wide down there. There's no weird things about the fit. And that was a goal they had with this skate. They wanted to fuse all the best fitting skates into one. And I think they achieved that, at least in this size anyway. My tips for if you're gonna get them is just go off the Mondo. Measure your foot in millimeters, choose the one that fits, okay? Or just go for your regular size, you'll definitely fit it. And this is my foot files, if you're curious. I'm a 274, my longest foot's 274 millimeters with 111 millimeter wide. So it's quite wide apparently, and I fit these skates good. Back to the boot though, as you can see here, we got another feature here, which is these little cut marks here, lining where you can cut the boot away yourself if you want to get some more flex in the boot, and that also includes this little bridge here across the cuff. So if you want a bit more flex, you can do that, although it is a permanent change, and you'll probably need some real tools to do it, like a Dremel or something, or like I guess you could do it with a handsaw, but it'd be pretty hard out. You couldn't do it with scissors though, okay? And so you definitely need some real tools for that, which I don't have. So it's also a permanent change, so you'll be definitely taking a risk. I would definitely do this as a last attempt, but it is a supportive skate from what I found skating, but it's not unbelievably supportive. I haven't got the chance to try aggressive, but I don't think you really need to be cutting at this. But the option is there, and I do like that. They thought about that when they made this new mold. Inside the boot, they do have this nice protector of the liner, I guess. It stops all the bolts scraping the liner, you know, and gives you a bit more cushion on the bottom. It also does have a riveted on shock absorber. It's just a MyFit one. Nice big piece of rubber, and it'll work super well. It does give you the raised heel. The boot itself is not raised heel though, it's a flat boot. As you can see underneath here, we have foam over the bolts, which is a really, really nice touch, stops them scraping as much. And also some of the sole plate bolts here, or I guess they're not sole plate bolts because some other things use them, but they are permanently fixed into the boot, the thread, which is so nice. You don't have to worry about that. But not all of them are, because a lot of them are adjustable, you'll see later. Which does makes me wish they were all stuck in, because it's super annoying. This foam too, it's also on the front, if you can see that. Come on, I'm gonna get it, yeah. It does actually get in the way if you want to take out a couple of the bolts or the bolt receivers so they're not rattling when you skate. You will have to peel this arch, which kind of sucks because it doesn't really go down the same again. Let's talk about the bottom though. So on the bottom of this boot, you can see it has a nice honeycomb texture, and that's to help with weight. This is one of the lightest skates I've ever touched. I'll get the weight for you, put it on the screen now for the size 10. It's a very light skate, which is quite nice. It makes me feel like I can jump a bit high, you know, and it's nicer to carry around when I'm not skating. You will need 3 different tools for every if you want to skate every version of the skate. You need a normal Allen key, like every other skate, for the cuff bolts, as well as the UFS, I'm calling the frame mounting bolts. You'll also need a screwdriver for, obviously, for the buckles, which is pretty standard, but also the sole plate bolts, which I thought was interesting, kind of like the original Mesmers. It's a weird touch. And you'll also need a Torx key, I think it's called, for the Trinity frame, which is a different size. It's a little smaller, I think, just for the Trinity frames, which is a little annoying. It's a few too many different tools, you know, but you know, I'm a complainer. So let's take this off. As you can see, the Trinity is mounted with 3 bolts, which should give you a triangle shape, obviously, of mounting, which is the strongest shape in the world, which should give you a super responsive feeling skate. And I've skated it and it felt great. It did not feel very wobbly. It felt super solid in control. But honestly, it felt the same as any other kind of decent big wheel skate I've skated, like the Flying Eagles or the Micros. So I don't know if it's super, like for someone who's kind of normie at me at skating, it's not a huge advantage, but I like it. I like the idea and concept. Now that comes off there. As you can see, those bolts go straight through the boot and they mount. It goes through the boot, through this plate and through the boot. But then this plate is mounted with just 2 UFS bolts. Now when I hear that, I get worried that maybe all these bolts will be kind of just, everything's going to feel like UFS because it's only 2 bolts kind of holding every different single plate down. But that is not the case. They've done a super good job here. Every single mount on the skate goes directly to the boot. So you're getting the best of all of them, I'd say. And this plate, it has little tabs here. It locks in quite well even without a bolt. So it feels super solid. It feels, I mean, I've never skated the Trinity, but it doesn't feel like there's any sacrifice there. It feels like it's just part of the skate. It is quite fiddly though. There's a lot of little pieces to it, a lot of things to line up, a lot of little bits and pieces, which makes me think, as me who's experiencing this right now, I don't think you're ever going to swap this out here and there. Like you're going to do it once and never want to do it again because it's quite fiddly and annoying. Some of them aren't too bad, but things like the sole plate and stuff are super jank, and you'll see that in this video today. From here, you can actually directly mount a frame to this boot to do like a wizard setup or something. And I have the perfect setup for that. So if you have a nice wizard setup like this, nice rockin' 5x72, 5 wheels, 72 mil, like this, you can directly just mount this straight on the boot like this. You will have to move these bolts to line up. And this one's particularly jank. I don't know why, but it really locks in this bottom bit. I don't really know how it works. There we go. Not too bad though. That's super well thought out. I think that moves well. They've called this UFS 2.0 too because you can't, obviously it's adjustable. So if someone wanted to make a frame for this skate, you could move where the bolts are and maybe get a better groove for aggressive, which would be cool. But yeah, once that's moved, easy as, chucked it on. One problem I have already had with this though is, see, even this is a tiny bolt, like the smallest UFS bolt you could possibly ever have. It does stick into my toe a little bit when in the Trinity mount, when it goes through this plate and into the boot, that sticks into my foot, probably like that much, which is crazy. You can see it, I have a picture here I can show you. And you really couldn't shorten that any more than that. You definitely couldn't put any spaces too because the wheel, it'll touch the wheel. So it's like, it's a weird point. I don't know why it seems a little too long, but it is. And yeah, you can get a smaller one. But anyway, and just like that, you got a nice wizard setup with a 5x72 with a slight rocker. I love these frames. What's even cooler with these frames, you can do this. And just like that, you got a massive H block where you want to do some grinds and a wizard setup. But yeah, that works straight away. You can scale like this. You can also have the sole plate in there and mount a wizard setup like that. As you can see though, there's definitely a bit of light that gets through. It's not a complete flat setup, which I do worry about there. I assume that's the boot too and not the frame. I haven't had problems with this frame before, but you know, I could be wrong. That would make me a little concerned though, but it seems solid, seems good. This is one of the only, I think it is the only boot that has metal like mounting plates. Every other skate does not have metal, it's straight plastic. So that should be the most solid kind of setup you can get for all of these mounting systems, which is impressive. But let's put the next one on, which is the 165 mount. For 165, all you need is this one plate here, or there's 2 of them, 1 from each foot. And again, it locks in really good. As you can see, it has these nice pieces that point out here that lock these, I guess are they sole plate bolts? Not really, no, they're like Trinity bolts. Locks them in the right position to stop them kind of rattling around. And that also holds the plate down so it has a more secure fit. And just take the same 2 bolts again that I just mounted that frame directly on. Put this plate on, doesn't take too long. And I can mount this frame directly onto the boot like this. And just like that, you have a 165 mount with these beautiful cyberpunk blue endless frames, which are both 3x110 or whatever and 4x90, cool setup. And it's super solid mount again. There's just those 2 points and all the way through. It'll be, I don't think there'll be any downside. I think it'll be just as solid. That's not all though. There's still one more mount we can do, and that is put some sole plates on. So keen eye viewers might have noticed that it does not seem to be enough holes for the sole plates. And I think this changes from version to version, but if you don't get the aggressive version and get one of the other versions, then you'll get one that doesn't have all the threads already put in. It's got 4 bolts out of the 8, which you'd probably be fine with, but you know, that is kind of weird. I wish they all came the same. You'd have to physically drill this out yourself and put thread in yourself. And I assume it would come with it if you wanted it in the kit, but mine didn't come with the threads. I had to get some off a homie. But anyway, so from here, this just pops on the top like that. It's a very nice sole plate. Make sure you line these up. I made that mistake just before. And then from here, since I don't have all the bolts, I just had to do 4 of the bolts. Just 2 in the back. It's a good kind of thread though, where you don't actually have to do anything about it, you know. It won't ever spin. It's like physically fused with the bolt, which is good with the boot. Now this is the only version of the skate where I think you're gonna have issues with rattling, and that's because there's 2 other Trinity mounts underneath the boot there. Not obviously on this version, nothing screws into them, so they're just loose, which will mean you'll need to go through, pull up the sides of the foam that protect the bolt, and pull them out. And I had done that when I originally went to set this up. And then I had to put them back so I could actually try Trinity, and it was a nightmare to get them back in. The foam actually made it worse. It made it hard to put them in. Once you've taken it out, it stops holding them in as good too, which kind of sucks. But yeah, I don't think you'd really need all 8 bolts, but it is kind of not nice to know you don't have all the bolts putting the sole plate on here. And again, looks so good on all black, but I don't really like the extra lines as that, just as an aesthetic thing, you know. This looks cool by itself, but this with this, I'm not a big fan of. It looks a little... The sole plate looks weird to me, but it looks like it'd skate good. I really like it. It really reminds me of an M12. Looks like it mounts good, especially if you actually use all the bolts. And then from here, you can obviously attach any UFS frame, whether that's the Rockin 5x72 that I had earlier, that can go straight on here, and then you have a sole plate if you want to do stuff. Easy as. Or whether that's the Justin Thursday IQON frames that come with the skate, featuring the nice little slot. If you want to put some... like something colored in here, then you'll get the colored logo. Otherwise, you do just see through it. I wish it came with some, honestly, because I don't have anything to put in there, and it kind of bums me out. But yeah, there is that. You just chuck that on there. We'll screw it in. It needs quite big bolts. Now, this is a very nice looking skate, I think. Actually, all black is the coolest. Black always wins, but I do like the black look of this. Now, you will notice that I don't have all the wheels on, and I'm not even going to bother putting this on properly here. And that's because I think there's quite a huge flaw with these frames that I think we're just okay with, which I am not okay with at all. I don't think I'm the only one who's done this, but the spaces for the 2 middle wheels here, they are rockerable. As you can see, it rockers a millimeter, which means you can have banana rock if you want, which is cool. But these are too big, apparently. After spending all day trying to smash these wheels in, and they just never would fit, and no matter what, the bolt, the spacer and the bearing wouldn't line up, I was told that I need to take them out and grind down the spaces because they're too small. I don't have the tools to sand down a piece of metal on spaces, and I don't think you should be expected to do that. And it's not like to save frustration. This is unusable at this point. I can't take these wheels out at this point. I smacked them in so hard, they are never ever going out. Like, there's no shot I can ever get them out now, which makes me worried and really gutted because I really wanted to try this frame. It's a really good frame. But yeah, I'm kind of screwed now. I'm going to spend all day trying to get them out. I almost missed this, but there is actually a secret extra eyelet at the top, so if you do rocker these cuffs up, you can lace these higher, or if you want to lace under. I don't know if you want to do that, but that's a good eye for detail there. And that's the teardown of the IQON ACT10, and hopefully it'll show you everything cool and unique about this skate. I'm very impressed with it. I do think it's probably the only skate ever that has achieved the good for everything, although I am yet to test it for aggressive. It does already pass the kind of Rick skate requirements. I think it's a good Rick skate, big wheel skate. And I have to try it out of that if I can get those frames working to know for sure. But I think the overall design and thinking of it has come out quite well, and it is a decent skate that's worth trying out. Let me know what you think of this format of video. A massive thank you to my patrons for making it possible. And yeah, if you have any questions about the skate, let me know. But yeah, appreciate it. Subscribe for more. I'll tear down some other skates.